Cute as a cupcake. Where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Get by Cute as a Cupcake at 2008 West 81st in Maryville, Indiana. And if you want cupcakes delivered directly to your door, go to www.cuteasacupcake3.com. Again, that's www.cuteasacupcake3.com. But again, if you're in the Maryville area, you need to stop by Cute as a Cupcake Cupcakery and Bake Shop located at 2008 West 81st. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And once again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly, truly appreciate it. So, what are we going to talk about today? Today, I'm going to answer some questions today. So, I got some frequently asked questions that come in all the time. And then this week, a lot of questions came in. I mean, I was getting emails left and right. So, thank you guys for contacting me. So I ask you to do so all the time, and thank you for doing that before you go out and you do something, you make some changes. I ask you that. So thanks for sending in those questions. 800 at creditscoreman.com. That's where you can send your questions to. And then, of course, you can always hit me in the DMs. If it's on Instagram, I'm 800 Credit Score Man. Facebook, 800 Credit Score Man. On Twitter, I'm at Credit Score _man on Twitter. Nobody ever asks me questions on Twitter, but you can do that too. You can ask me there as well. So contact me. You got all my information. Go ahead, hit me up so I can answer those questions for you. So that's what we're going to do today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. So stay tuned. Your question that you have and you have yet to ask may be answered on today's show. And then, of course, hopefully I'll pepper in a few little things that you might be able to pick up to help you increase your credit scores. Because what do we say? If you increase your credit scores, it's going to lower the interest rates that you're going to pay, and that's going to save you money. And it's not always about buying things. It's not about accumulating things and stuff. It's not always about that when it comes to your credit, because of course it impacts other portions of your life as well. So we're going to get to all that today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. Thanks for tuning in yet again. Pause right now. Share the show. I want you to pause right now and share the show. So whatever platform you're on, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, my app that's on, what is it on? It's on iPhone. My app, wherever you're listening to it. If you're listening to it on Spreaker, who hosts the show, Spreaker, wherever you are, wherever you listen to it, pause right now and share the show with your friends and family. Now, come on back in. Let's go ahead and get it done. So, I want to say we're not going to be here on the 11th, 11/11. That is, of course, Veterans Day. So, I got to give a salute out to all of the veterans out there, those that have served our country, protected our freedoms and all of those things, the ones that are serving now, the ones that used to serve. I want to say thank you so very much for protecting our freedoms here in the great United States of America. Heck, today they finally announced who is going to be the next president of the United States. And so maybe it worked out in your favor. Maybe it didn't work out in your favor. But one good thing is that democracy worked this time around for sure. So more people, I think, than ever actually voted in this particular election, and that's a very good thing for our democracy. I have been voting ever since I could. I remember as a little kid going in the voting booth with my mom and or my dad, and back in the day, we go in this big old booth, and it was like a teal green or teal blue curtain. You pull the curtain, and then you make your selection or whatever, and you actually pull down this lever, down to cast your vote. I thought that was the coolest thing, and I don't think I've missed but one election, and I don't care if it was a special election, a midterm, a primary, or whatever. I have voted ever since then, and I give that credit to my mother and father because they're very big proponents of voting. So that's what it is. So, all right, come on in. Let's talk about this. Oh, before I get started, let me get this first shout out right quick. I got to shout out Michaela Denson. Yes, that is my great niece, you guys. My great niece, Michaela Denson. She celebrates her birthday today. She's turning 9. So the youngest among us, she's turning 9. She texted me and today and said that she couldn't believe that she was 9 years old. Well, if you can't believe it, Michaela, I certainly can't believe that you're 9 years old. So happy birthday to you on Veterans Day. Speaking of veterans, my brother, Robert Lee King, actually Dr. Robert Lee King Jr. celebrates his birthday on Veterans Day. So happy birthday to you, bruh. Reagan Robinson celebrated his birthday. So happy birthday to you, Reagan Robinson. My old college roommate, George Banks, happy birthday. My cousin, Bobby Terrell, he celebrates his birthday coming up. So happy birthday to you. And Nick Williams, the pole mark of Indianapolis Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, will be celebrating his birthday. So happy birthday to you as well, brother Nick Williams. All right, so here's the first question. First question is, I paid off my car and my credit score went down. Question mark. So that's the question. So why is that? So let me explain this a little bit to you guys. So when you have an account, a good account, and you've been paying on it for a long time, that's all helpful for you. All those things are helpful for you. A car, it happens to be a installment loan. So that's helpful for you on your credit. Typically, most people may have maybe 4 or 5 different installment loans maybe open at the same time. You know, you might have a mortgage, you got a car or two, you have a student loan, you know, maybe you got a personal loan, something of that nature. But then often people don't have all of those things. You may just have a car, and let's say you just have a mortgage. So you only have 2 installment loans on your credit. And when you close one of them, because when you do pay it off, that is closing that particular account. It's not like a credit card where you can pay that balance down to 0 and it's still open and available to you. You pay that vehicle off and then now it is gone. So it doesn't come off of your credit report, right? It stays on your credit report, especially if you did well. It's going to stay on your credit report for 10 years, but it doesn't help as much when it's closed as it does when it's actually open. So that is why your credit score goes down when you pay off an installment loan. And it's not just a vehicle. So if it was a personal loan you had and you paid it off, your credit score might go down a little bit. Again, with the vehicles, it's going to go down a little bit. Even when you pay off your student loan. I paid off my student loan a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, and my credit score went down. You know, there were like, 3 loans separated on my credit report, and it was as if I paid off 3 loans, installment loans, and that hurt my credit score. It went down because of that. So that absolutely happens when you pay off an installment loan. If you've had the benefit of being able to pay off your home, your credit score is going to go down. Even when you refinance or sell your home and you go buy another one, things of that nature, you close one loan and you start a new one, those things are going to bring your credit score down, at least for the time being. They'll bring your credit score down. So that is why that happens to you, and it's not an anomaly for you. It happens to everybody for the most part when you pay off that loan. All right, so next question. How do I get to 800? Now, I receive this question often. At least once, twice, 3 times a month, I receive this question, how do you get to 800? And I assume people just pick 800 because I'm the 800 credit score man, and they don't pick 750 or 700 or whatever, or 850. So I received this question again this week. I actually received it on Instagram. So again, hit me up, 800 Credit Score Man on Instagram. Follow me. All right, so how do I get to 800? Again, that's a loaded question. Very, very loaded, because there are so many factors that come into play to try to get your credit score up, to an 800 type score. There's a lot of factors that go into that. So I can't definitively tell you without looking at your credit. I may not even be able to tell you how to get to 800 if I look at your credit, but certainly without looking at it, I can't tell you how to get to 800. I don't know what's on it. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad. I don't know what's indifferent about your particular credit file. But here are some tips for you if you're trying to strive for a good credit score. So one of the first tips is, of course, pay on time. You got to pay on time. If you got late payments on your credit report, it's detrimental to your score. And they hang on there forever, it seems like, if you have a late payment. So you got to pay on time to have a chance to have a good credit score. So make those payments on time. On time is meaning never be 30 days late. So you can be late every now and then if you have to be. Payments due on the 5th. You don't pay to the 10th. You don't pay to the 15th. That's most likely fine. You're not 30 days late. You get reported to the credit bureau when you're 30 days late on a particular bill. So pay on time. That's one thing you need to do. Avoid collections. At any and all cost, you want to avoid collections. It's going to hurt you if you're trying to reach an 800 credit score if you have collections on your credit report. Even if you've paid those collections and they still linger and they show zero as far as the balance is concerned, it's going to hurt you when it comes down to it at the end of the day. So you need to avoid collections. So if you've got somebody that wants to collect on you, they're sending you letters prior to placing this on your credit, and they want to make a deal, quote unquote, make a deal as far as you making a lump sum payment, or they reduce it or whatever, or if they want to give you a payment plan, then maybe you take that payment plan. Or what I would rather do is to negotiate a bit different payment, something that's good for you. If you don't feel that you have the money to pay them, offer them something very nominal, like $5. I pay $5 a month until this debt is paid. And maybe they take it, maybe they won't take it. However, part of that negotiation as well is that they do not send you to collections as long as you meet your obligation of paying the $5 a month, $25 a month, or whatever it is until that bill is paid off. Don't let things go to collections. Oftentimes I get people that will pay as soon as it hits their credit report. Then they're going to pay the collection, and it's basically it's too late. It's too late. It already hit your credit report. You've lost the 50 or 60 points because you had a collection. So I'm going to suggest that you try to avoid having things go to collections on your credit report. Number 3 that you should do, far as a tip to help you get to 800, use your credit. You got to use your credit to get to 800. So you can have credit cards and you haven't used them in 4 or 5 years, and you're wondering why your score is stagnant at 680, why it's stagnant at 720. That is a very common number, 720, and my credit score just hasn't moved. I get that comment a lot as well. It just hasn't moved. And individuals have decided I'm not, going in any debt or anything of that nature. I'm trying to limit my use of my credit. Well, the system actually judges you off the use of your credit. So if you don't use it, then they don't have anything to really evaluate you on how you're doing right now. So you've got to use your credit some. You just need to use it wisely and responsibly. Then that'll help you get to 800. Another thing you can do as far as getting to 800 is to have a variety of credit. So we talked about in the first question about having that installment loan, right? When it comes to a vehicle, an installment loan. So you've got to have a variety of credit. You got to have installment, and you need to have revolving credit as well. Revolving being your credit cards. You can have a charge card or a credit card. Yes, there is a difference in between there. But yes, you need to have a variety of credit. So if you have those, and then even within those things. So if you have a credit, if we're looking at revolving, you have credit card. So do you have a Visa card? You don't need a Visa card, a MasterCard, a Discover card, and an Amex necessarily. But there is variety in that. So if you have a Visa and a MasterCard, cool. You got a Visa and a Discover card, cool. Do you have any store cards? Can you get a store card? Get you a store card or two, whether it's a jewelry place, a furniture place, or a big box store or what have you. Get you one of those as well, and it shows a variety in there. The credit bureaus like to see variety, and they want to judge you off of that as well. So a variety of different kinds of credit. When it comes to your installment stuff, most people have the installment loans on their credit report, basically by necessity. You got a student loan. It was by necessity. You wanted to buy a house. That's going to be on there. You need to buy a car. That's going to be on there. So you have those